Yeah, this is, I guess you could say phase two of the pre-op. I know yesterday I had to go to the hospital and get all my labs and urine and EKG and chest x-ray, CT scan of my lumbar, and is there anything else? I think that might have been it. And then just all the paperwork and everything. So that was done yesterday. And I was there probably a good 2.5 hours for that. And then I'm having to go back today because I guess where the hospital is that I'm going to having the surgery at is accredited now, or at least accredited in surgery. I think's the way I understand. Maybe it was just ortho. I'm not real sure, but it has something to do with the hospital's accreditation. Apparently before surgery now, all, all the patients have to go to, like a spine surgery class, and a nurse is teaching that class, and hopefully, I think it said 2.5 hours, but she said most of the time it don't last that long, so hopefully it won't. And then apparently, she said something about sizing me for a brace. I know I've actually been watching some videos on this surgery, and after the fact, you wear like this medical grade back brace for a while, cause I think it could be different with him, with his, restrictions, but I think that you can't do anything for 3 weeks. Can't even drive for 3 weeks. Of course, you can't bend, you can't lift, you can't twist. All of that's a no-no for the first 3 weeks, and so you can't even drive. And so that's gonna be fun. But anyway, I have to wear that back brace, and so that's what she's going to measure me for today. Then I have to go back again tomorrow. And mind you, this hospital is about 45 minutes or so away from me, depending on traffic. But I mean, it's just how it's fell. But tomorrow I have to go back again, which would be Saturday. And even though I had labs yesterday, I had to do another set of labs, but these labs are for, uh, blood transfusion in case I need one. You can't go too far out in advance. So they'll do 2 days before the surgery, which would be tomorrow. They'll do, the labs to like my blood type and all of that stuff. And then the day of surgery, they stick you again, just to doing all the checks for blood transfusion. There's a whole lot to that. But anyway, and there should be, rightfully so. But there's just a lot, I guess, to get prepared. And my surgery got moved up. There was kind of a mix up in the schedule. I was supposed to went Wednesday, but then they thought it was Monday, and it was just a big mix up. But anyway, it's got moved up now. And so now it's going to be Monday, this coming Monday, the 12th instead of the 14th. So anyway, that's it. I don't know how I'll release these videos. I don't know if I want to do them all, to kind of together, or, uh, separate them so that way they're not real long. But if I do, put this one out today, and I think I probably will actually. Those of you all that pray, I know not everybody prays, but those of you that do pray, I do, ask you to pray for me, because I've been having a lot of just fears, stuff, the stupid stuff that I guess maybe everybody kind of goes through, thinks of before surgery. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe, I'm a high anxiety person and I think things that other people don't. I don't know, but regardless, if you all would pray, that everything will be okay, and, I'll come through, um, and then, I'll heal quickly. But main things come through, and not come through paralyzed either. But just come through. I want to raise my girls. So anyway, but I think the Lord's starting to give me peace with that now. I was really afraid, but I think I'm starting to get a little bit more peace with that. So, but that's it for today. I probably won't do anything tomorrow, since it's just going to get labs, and then, um, and that's it. But I will probably follow up Monday. I will, you know, uh, right before the surgery, I'll try to hop on here. And so that's it. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll talk to you the next one. Bye.